so it's Sam and Mike here from Balance My Hormones. Today we're going to talk about how to get TRT in the UK. I mean, you've then got, what would you say, private, well not even private, single doctors.
Got single doctors, but again, before you get there, you need to have a blood test usually.
That's true.
Or you'll spend a consultation fee seeing that doctor who will then send you for a blood test. So what our service will do is help prepare all that for the patient, the client ahead of time in an all-inclusive way. So if you're thinking about getting TRT, the first thing to do is contact Balance My Hormones and get your bloods ordered, because we'll have you order the right bloods, the bloods the doctor's going to need to be able to do a proper diagnosis. You know, come to us directly, we'll get you the proper blood tests, the things that you need to get you the best,
I think that's it,
quickest route to diagnosis.
Our doctors obviously need a certain number of blood tests to look into all aspects of health, you know, thyroid deficiencies, other hormones, things like that. And then people may see like an attractive looking thing that involves just testosterone. For example, just testosterone is not a full picture, you know, nor is a partial thyroid panel or whatever. You need to have, you know, go into everything. And then there's a reason why that's all included in one. But that's it, blood testing first, right? So that's where you could go to a private doctor. You can probably see them, pay. You can get your blood testing.
So let's talk about the private doctors, because I see them as there being two different groups. There's the Bupa insurance model of private doctors, where you'll go to a Spire Hospital or Nuffield or one of the other private hospitals that take private health insurance. And essentially you're getting these doctors, these consultants that work mostly full-time, or most of the time in the NHS.
Yeah, or have done most of their career.
And then they'll have some as a hobby or part-time business working at one of these other hospitals. And essentially they're giving you the very restrictive guidelines, but maybe a bit faster. I call it like NHS Plus. And they're not really clued up on the latest. There might be some, but the ones that we've come across, and the ones I had thought about going to when I was first starting at TRT, I didn't find them adequate, and there's a bit of a risk. So I can spend all this money going to them, and they might just give me topical gels, and there was no guarantee that I'd even get a diagnosis. So from my point of view, that option was just a little bit better than the NHS.
So it's almost, because the doctors train in the NHS, within the training of the environment where there is the cost and the restrictiveness and the training that's happened, they're then just sticking one foot out of the NHS to do the same thing in a lot of cases, maybe with some changes.
They might have a bit more flexibility than the NHS, but
so you could be seen faster to get the same treatment in a lot of cases. Is that right? Yeah.
So that's one I've come across. And then there are some solo practitioners out there that may or may not have certain expertise in TRT, and they're kind of limited in the time that they can give to the clients.
So if you find one, then you obviously have the doctor's time, and then I think what happens in most cases is that if you get prescribed something, it's then up to you to try and source. And UK pharmacies, it's not America. You have to go and find the pharmacy that provides something,
and they might look at the prescription, not recognise the doctor,
and question the doctor,
and question why they're prescribing that, or why they're prescribing it in a certain way.
It to be in stock.
Usually, there's lots of times that the different medicines go out of stock, or
I've heard of that.
There's a back order, or they can't get it from the supplier.
Guys just fed up every month of chasing. Trying to get medication, even though
it's not easy. Even just having that prescription, it takes you time. You go to a queue, or if you're lucky, the pharmacy may post it to you. So that's the other option. I mean, there are also online pharmacies. Online pharmacies tend to prescribe only gels, and you don't really talk to anyone. It's all done remotely, all online.
It's scary, really.
No one really talks to you. You send in some labs, or they'll order labs for you, and then that's it. And here's some gel. And
we've talked about like the efficacy of gels anyway.
But the thing is, when you're starting TRT, there's lots of anxiety, that goes into this, and you're going to trust basically the shutdown of your own pituitary axis, whilst it's not great in the first place. Otherwise, you wouldn't be seeking testosterone treatment. You're going to be trusting this to someone that you don't even have get to talk to.
Yeah.
Really.
But again, what if you've got something causing the low testosterone that's sinister?
I think they just require 2 simple testosterone blood tests.
We've had guys that have gone, I've got 2 testosterones, that's it, and what about all of those underlying conditions and other problems that can cause low testosterone, which obviously a doctor has to look into and treat, it's often not a case of, I've just got, primary or secondary because that happened to me. There can be accompanying factors, conditions that are underlying that cause that, right?
So the online pharmacy is the other option. But I think you're limited if you really want to have experts that know about modern TRT. I think you'll be lacking in finding them on these online pharmacies.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So, that leaves us with, you can go to Europe, or America to get your treatment, but then you've got the complexity of
you could fly.
You can fly and then bring your medicines back, and then you deal with your passport control and customs, and that could be a bit of an issue.
Cost of going.
Well, it's going to be one of the most expensive costs, and then American healthcare is not cheap. European healthcare might be a bit better. And that's why a lot of people come to balance their hormones, is because some of them they can source it from maybe a doctor in another country, or they would attempt to do the black market, but then they say, no, I just don't want to risk it. I'm a father, I've got 2 children, I can't risk hurting my health long term. So I want to go to use your company to help me work with a doctor, a proper pharmacy.
I think
and have the whole package all together.
I think that's
knowledgeable.
That's the other option, isn't it? Like I think all men need to have the option to get therapy. It's something that is affecting a lot of men, and I believe every man needs to be helped. So, but and these are the options that you've got. But I suppose with Balance My Hormones, what is provided is an all-inclusive service. So it is, you get the contact with the doctors, you get multiple doctors that you can see, and then all of your medication is just provided for you from our associated pharmacies, which we know are always stocked and are provided for, and it's delivered to you. And blood tests are organised from you, and that can be from right before the consultation. People that have been on treatment, so that's part of the all-inclusive service as well. A doctor by themselves has only so much time, and that's the nature of it. You see it in all areas of practice, where if you want to talk to somebody about something that maybe, I think I did this, this was me when I started therapy. I obviously had my contact with the doctor. I could have a consultation whenever I wanted with the doctor, but I didn't want to book up a consultation and be like, when did your libido improve? When do men's libido improve usually? Have you looked at this on the internet? What have you heard about this new thing they're doing in America? So I had all of that included. So I had the blood testing, I had the delivery, I had the support, and then I had the doctor, the intervention of the doctor, the whole support with the doctor, that interaction, as much as I wanted really. So I suppose that's where we fit, in the provision of TRT.
We are the original UK TRT company.
Yeah.
We started.
It's been years.
So it's newish to the UK. It's been in America something similar, but
even at least 20 years because you've been.
But even what we do here is different from what they do in America. As far as our level of support, it's. It covers many different doctors and many different patients.
All around the country.
There's
doctors available. There's people always to talk to. And I think the anxiety, I think in a country where the NHS has been the main provider, me working in the NHS before and then quickly finding out that I couldn't get provision, for my own issue on the NHS was where I had to look at my options, which I did at the time, and obviously, I came through this process, a long time ago, and
I'm glad you did.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so am I. And I had that spot, and I'd say maybe I was on the more anxious end. I was one of those patients that wanted to know about things, had done my reading, had done my research, and was questioning my symptoms, and I did have that support.
There are groups of people that very much want to be in the know. They want to learn all they can, and I think that's what you do with any condition these days. Is you'll research online, you go to Dr. Google. Dr. Google isn't always right, We've got the collective support, you know.
I think it becomes almost like a network, doesn't it? The experiences those patients have.
We like to think of them as being part of a family.
Well, it is.
A kind of an extended family of people that you call. We've got a relationship. We've been working with them for years, and it's nice to have that, you know, and see how they're doing. And you can see the improvements from when they started. I mean, you see some of the clients, they'd come to us, hypergonadal, early 20s, higher pitched voice, lack of confidence, and, you know, 6 months, a year later, you can't believe you're talking to the same person. It's got a very deep voice, and you know, such confidence exudes, and you're like, we changed their lives. I mean, it's really amazing, and it's more than just here's your testosterone. I think it's all the other bits that we do to go along with it that makes a difference.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I say, here's the testosterone. It's obviously, is from a medical point of view with the doctors, we know the depth that they go into to check other things and actually optimise, you know, because I think a lot of people chase testosterone to be like, I want to feel better, when it could be something else going on. But that support and that whole provision as a whole, it just made my journey easy. And I think that's the difference. Is I could, if I found a private doctor that knew what they were doing, let's just say I found one, just every month to go and try and source my prescription and do those sorts of things, not to have, you know, I had injection training, but as much injection training as I wanted. So, you know, I had that organised for me, and, you know, it made it a lot easier.
Yeah, and that's what we're here to do, is make it easier, convenient, one-stop shop.
Yeah, absolutely. Removes a lot of anxiety from the situation. So I suppose that's all of the options really in the UK.
Yeah. So hopefully this is your first option.
Yeah,
using balanced hormones.
But you can obviously give us a call, have a chat to us, find out more. There's no cost in that. So yeah, hopefully this has been helpful, and we'll speak to you next time.